What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Investing Bros live show, and we've got a lot to discuss today. Bitcoin back up, flirting with 57,000. It did go above it. It's back down a little bit below at the moment as we're shooting this live, but we're making some big moves to the upside. As you can see in the title and everything we're talking about, there were lies told to you, and we told you the other day on the show. I was live here a couple days ago breaking down all of the rumors and rumblings as to why Bitcoin was crashing. And I told you that all of this was really based more off of fear rather than actual details. And as everything has played out, while I'm not saying with 100% certainty that the bottom for sure is in, it does look like everything that was fear-based that caused price to fall turned out to not be as big of a deal as they implied. Markets are moving back up, and the evidence is pouring in that the whales and the institutions absolutely are jumping on this opportunity. Was it manipulated or was it not? Either way, they're jumping on the opportunity to buy cheap crypto, and it does look like we're well on our way to recovering in the space. But we'll get into all of that and a whole lot more. T-Shirt is back with us today. Make sure if you guys are excited about the show, you got to smash the like button. You got to hit subscribe, and we got to roll the intro. Yo, T-Shroom with the orange background. T-Shroom, where are you coming at from today?
I am coming from San Falasco Tech City in High Springs, Florida / Alachua, Florida. I'm not exactly sure which city it's actually belonging to, but it's kind of in the middle of both. Actually, no, it's definitely Alachua, Florida. Yeah.
I'm liking the orange background, matching the Bitcoin vibe.
Yeah.
Very, very much so. How are you doing today? How's everyone doing down there?
Tim, I'm doing better than I deserve, my man. Finally got some internet. This Hurricane Debbie, it took us down, right? It took us down out here. Everybody's safe. Everybody in my family at least was safe and survived. Houses usually do the trick when it comes to hurricanes, hurricane safety. But unfortunately, the internet lines are still not recovered out here in a little bit more rural Gainesville, Florida area. So I'm better than I deserve, but I'm less connected than I deserve. I feel like I do deserve a better connection considering how much I pay for internet. Tim, how are you?
It's very true. Do they end up? That's a good question. I forget. They don't give you money back. You don't have to. Like if you lose internet for an entire month, or if you lose power. I guess if you lose power, you don't pay the bills because you don't burn up electricity. But internet, if you're down for a week, they don't give you a stipend of that money, do they?
Let us know in the chat. Do you work for Cox or some other internet provider? Let us know. What it would be like a reverse prorate? I believe in the past I had an internet outage and I got a discount, or there was the time that I didn't have connection, the money was returned to me in some way. So I'm not sure, but let us know. Do you work for Cox? Do you work for Xfinity? Do you work for Verizon or somebody who does this? Because I would love to know if I'm entitled to a reimbursement.
Indie Rock Crypto says you got to ask for the credit. It's a real now. It says TJONG. That would be like Jong. I guess the T would be silent, but I'm thinking that he meant thing, and the typo just kind of went hard. Krunal says try Starlink. T-Shirt, have you ever tried Starlink before?
Oh, Tim, we did. We tried Starlink, and it is like awesome. It's almost awesome, but it's perfect for streaming. It's perfect for anybody who doesn't do what Tim and I are doing right now, which is pulling like download speed from another location and then uploading it to my location. That for some reason is just not sustainable on Starlink, but you can literally play like 144 frame rate Call of Duty on Starlink. You can upload big files, you can download big files. You just can't stream, so it sucks. But
it was frustrating. It was frustrating. It's a thought, though. Well, let's get into the market here, T-Stream. Let's check out what is happening. Let's start off with bubbles today. We've been kind of neglecting the bubbles more recently because there's always some big breaking piece of information we had to dive right into. But with the exception of these three, ICP, Flare, and Beam, a lot of green today as the markets continue to move back up and to the right. They're recovering from that massive dip that we had. As I suggested in the intro, Bitcoin literally within the last couple of minutes, I think right before we went live, we were sitting north of 57,000. We have cooled off right now, sitting about 56,500. But we told you yesterday, or I told you yesterday, I don't think T-Shirt was not here with us. do not be surprised to see a rally up here closer above $58,000. When you take a look at multiple time frames, 30-minute chart absolutely calling for it, even if we have a small pullback back down to 56 first. The 4-hour chart is calling for it with our smart trail and our take profit right there. We just got to get over this bearish breaker block at the moment. We're not seeing on larger time frames like the daily just yet, but watch out as we continue to move to the upside. While I'm not necessarily predicting that we have to reverse, I do think there's a lot of resistance or / a lot of reasons for traders to take profit here around 58,500. If we break through though, and we start to make a move back to 60, remember, we always talked about that, or when I say always, we were just last week talking about the huge CME gap. Let me go to the daily chart for this one. The huge CME gap below us that we created way back here in July. Well, we didn't actually end up filling it. We just recreated an even larger one. Right now, we have a CME gap on Bitcoin up above us, going up to $62,900. So a lot of reason for Bitcoin to move up and to the right over the next little bit. But we're going to have to continue to watch as price does that. I'm not expecting it to be a straight shot. I'm expecting it to probably be a similar type of movement on the 4-hour chart to maybe kind of what we saw here in July, where there's a lot of choppiness before we finally made our way back up towards 69,000. Same thing over here back in May. Even though we had a nice explosive move out of that bottom position, you can see we had to deal with some volatility, even a head and shoulders pattern before we shot up back above $70,000 once again. For anyone who did not watch yesterday's show and you're saying, wow, who is this guy doing the technical analysis that's not wearing a hat? Yes, I have hair, and I have now promised the people of the Bros community I will not wear a hat again on video until we get back above $70,000. When that happens, it will be extremely bullish for Bitcoin. Let's just check out some other coins really quickly. We'll do more deeper analysis here in a little bit. Ethereum, though, back up. Now it's at $24.97 at the moment, but as you can see, we did make a nice surge here, back up above 2,500. Once again, though, when we're starting to look here, actually, I think Ethereum could go a lot higher. Ethereum on its way probably closer back to 2,700. Let's see what the hourly chart is kind of saying. There we go. Hitting some rejection on the hourly chart. Don't worry about it, though. That's only temporary. It is only a matter of time before the 4-hour plays out. There's also, we're going to be talking about in this video, we're going to be talking about reasons why Ethereum could be. There's a person buying and moving Ethereum around that's very, very bullish for the long-term price action of Ethereum. Could we see 2,700 in the next couple of days? Keep an eye on it. Solana with big moves right now, flirting with resistance on the 4-hour chart, but looks like it wants to break up even higher back into the 150s. Solana doing very, very well. Again, almost everything received a 4-hour buy signal on the Lux-Algo oscillator. Just one more reason why this is the #1 indicator out there. If you're looking to trade or find the perfect places to buy or sell, Lux-Algo, for a plethora of reasons, is the right one out there for you. But this indicator, the oscillator, just doing magic work right now. We got that bullish reversal, bullish momentum, positive money flow. And, of course, it's doing exactly what we said it would do just yesterday. Chainlink up back above $10.
Tim, just a second. Before you go any further, it's actually 20% off right now. Lux-Algo, 20% off. You can get, if you've been eyeing this indicator, you want to get your hands on it. It's actually 20% off right now. And hey, if you end up not liking it, after 30 days, you can get your money back. You have everything to gain, nothing to lose. Go ahead and check it out today. Get started and take your trading to the next level.
I'll do you one better, T-Shroom. It actually is 40% off if you buy the whole year up front. And then of the 40% off, if you use our link, Investing Bros link right there, it's 20% off that 40%. So you really can do a lot of savings on Lux-Algo if you buy that whole year with our link. Check it out right there. T-Shroom is kind of highlighting it. It also gets you into our VIP trading group. We've been doing a lot of stuff over there, so all the reason to go get Lux-Algo today. Let's get back into it. Link, as I said, back up above $10. I do think there'll be a little bit of resistance as we push closer towards 11, where we do have that 4-hour smart trail here as well. Why am I talking about the 4-hour smart trail? Because we're still waiting for all of these coins to turn back bullish on the daily chart. Most of them hit take profit levels, hit large term support levels, but we're not necessarily seeing the positivity come back. We're just seeing the daily chart still telling us we are overextended, oversold to the downside. But the 4-hour chart, which has turned bullish, this is going to be the one that I think gives us the best bet on where the key levels of resistance are going to be. For Link, I'm looking at right here, Smart Trail, $11. If we do push through multiple bearish breaker blocks here back in the $12 region. So keep an eye on that. Either way, would not be surprised. Again, I talked about it a little bit this morning. Wouldn't be surprised to see rejection, maybe a small pullback down. I don't think we have to go lower, but I do think we could come back down on Chainlink back towards 950, well within the cards here, unless some whale comes out of nowhere and just goes nuts with it. But again, if you go back and look at like July 5th area, that's actually July 25th. Go back to July 5th. You usually have volatility after the bottom. It's rarely just a back up and to the right scenario. Go off my screen for a second here, T-Shroom. There is something, and this is going to be showing Bitcoin, but while I'm kind of saying this, it's something that I do want to bring up, and I believe it was Ben Cowan that put this one up. Let me go to my bookmarks. I definitely got it. No, I don't want to give credit to Ben Cowan. Ben Cowan's great. This one actually is from Elio Trades. Let me zoom in here, T-Shroom. Go ahead and share my screen here. I've been telling you guys about the similarity now for a while between what happened back in 2019 and what's happening right now. Now, this is fake. The right side has not played out, but it is an interesting concept of taking a look at what the 2024 situation looked like. Or sorry, I didn't say this fake. This is what the chart looked like back in 2020, 2019. You saw this falling, broadening wedge or falling channel that did have this massive move down, a big wick below, and then the explosion back to the upside with the kind of wrestling with the resistance for a moment, only to then break up into the right. This is after COVID event. Now, I've told you yesterday, it's hard to say for certain, but what we saw happen with the Asian markets was a little bit of a black swan event in the mindset of saying that no one really saw that coming that severe that quickly. Let's go back over here and take a look at Bitcoin really quick and kind of see this even more so. Let's go to a lower time frame like the 3-daily chart kind of works right here. Go back here and look at 2019. This is what we are talking about right back here. Now, different time frames had different things kind of looking out here. Ultimately, what they're kind of looking at, if you draw it like this, this is what that broadening wedge would have looked like with those touches. Like I said, very similar looking, different, but similar looking formation right there in the cards as what we're looking at the moment. Let's see how this ends up playing out in the future. I did tell you yesterday, though, whether or not the bottom is in, I do believe this is the last leg down before the bull market continues. What do I mean by that? Well, whether or not we've bottomed out already or whether or not we curve over and maybe come back down to retouch 52, the next time we get back up above this mid-level and we start to push above towards 65,000, I don't think that we're going to see another rejection and a massive pullback. I believe the next time we see a rally here, this is going to be the breakthrough of this resistance, new highs coming shortly after. That is why it's so important to go ahead and continue to buy the dip. Yes, we're rallying today, but ultimately we're only at $56,000. $56,000 has been an amazing buying level ever since way back in February. I'm not convinced you're necessarily going to get a better deal. Maybe you get another shot at 52. But once we get back up into those high 60s, at that point, if you're thinking, man, I wanted to buy below 60,000, it might be too late at that point. That's why you should be acting on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, others. I made a video this morning with the 7 coins that I invested heavily in during this dip. Go check it out. It's something I think you guys would love to see and get some insight on as to why I'm buying those as well. Some other coins, though, Cardano, it's back up above 33 cents. This is what a lot of people were asking me, Tim, why wasn't Cardano one of the 7? If you want to know what those 7 were, go watch the video. But Cardano was not on that list. It's nothing against Cardano. You guys know I like Cardano long term. I honestly just have enough Cardano, and I'm not going to lie to you and say that Cardano isn't semi a risk. It is a little bit of a risk. Is it a great risk? I don't think so. But ultimately, when you're investing, you have to decide for yourself where the risk to reward ratios kind of stack up. And ultimately, I have enough risky assets, and I believe Cardano is semi a risky asset. The 7 that I chose, I really do believe the gains and the rewards way outweigh any risk you put into those tokens. That does not mean these are the only 7 you should be investing in. It just means that these might be the best 7 for the rest of the bull market if you're looking to limit your risk and still have decent reward on the upside. So Cardano didn't quite make that list for me. That being said, I did not sell my Cardano. I still have my very large bag of it, and I still plan on profiting. I just didn't need to buy anymore in this dip, even though the prices were good. I just didn't need to add to that supply. There were other better options out there at the moment. I'll tell you one of them. One of them that I want to bring up again, Ondo, because we're going to be covering it today. In fact, I think we might as well go ahead and cover it right now. T-Shroom. Well, you know what? I don't know why I'm putting this on you, T-Shroom. Let's just go over and go to my Twitter account. If you guys are not following me on Twitter, you need to, at Tims_TA. Go do it today. But I put this tweet out earlier. Oh, there we go. Good video right there. That's what I'm talking about. 7 cryptos. Watch it on X. Watch it on YouTube. It's this one. Big if true. I'm telling you right now, Arkham is not known for faking information. So I'm thinking that it is true, and there's sources claiming that BlackRock bought $8.1 million of Ondo token 15 hours ago. Now, $8 million of a purchase in Bitcoin or Ethereum or even Solana, yeah, that's good. I wish I could buy $8 million of Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Solana, but not necessarily as big of a deal as it would be to the likes of, say, Ondo. Why? Because Ondo at the moment, let me come down here and find it on CoinMarketCap. Ondo's really sitting here at a $999 million valuation. We dropped below 1 billion. So this is especially the fact they did it pretty much all in a short time frame. 1.8 or $8.1 million with the volume that comes in is a massive deal to Ondo. And it's one of the reasons why Ondo, since that crash, go back to my screen here, T-Shroom, has rallied back up almost 15% from that pullback, 50%, excuse me, from that pullback down to 50 cents. Ondo is one that I definitely have a great opportunity to buy. I took advantage of it. Where could you potentially buy? I say it in the video, but I'll say it here again. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. We're running into some resistance at the moment. We could even make a push back up here towards 84 cents. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if after that push up, we do come back down towards the 70-cent level. What does that mean? I think if you haven't got enough Ondo, you're sitting at a very good level to buy some at the moment. There's a chance we rally up, maybe come back down to this level. Of course, we were in this very, very strong falling channel. Let me turn Lux Augo off for a second here on Ondo. We were in this strong falling channel or descending channel that the only reason we broke below it was because Ondo's not a big enough coin to make all of its own decisions. If Bitcoin and the rest of the market crash, so is Ondo. That doesn't change the fact, though, that 72 cents was a major support level. And now that all that FUD that they lied to us about, that they tried to spin up, and again, I'm a believer that there's very few coincidences in this world. While some people are going to try to make excuses for all of those lies, I just call them what they are. They're lies. It was a manipulative move so that whales and institutions could buy the dip. Well, that's come and gone. It turns out most of what we were afraid of is not going to come into fruition. Go back to normal support levels that would have been in play if those things had never happened. And you're looking at 72 cents being a great level, 71 cents, a great level for Ondo people to purchase the dip before it makes a move greater to the upside. Let's talk a little bit more here and further evidence that we overreacted, that they lied to us about how severe situations were. Remember yesterday when the September predictions for CME2, let's actually update this, make sure I'm getting the most up-to-date information. All right, there we go. This was sitting above 84% that we were going to potentially get a 50-point rate cut in September. And while it's still sitting right there around 70, you can see this is quickly dropping. This will continue to shift and change as we get closer to September on the 18th. We're going to hear from Jerome Powell and the Fed at Jackson Hole a little bit later this month, probably here in about, 2 weeks, give or take. I believe it's the 22nd. Watch this continue to shift, but we're now seeing, again, even yesterday, we were predicting 125 basis point cuts before the end of the year. Now they're heavily predicting only 4. So we definitely had a major overreaction in the markets. Everything had this colossal crash in price, and we're recovering because we're finding out, you know what? Things were not as bad as everyone wanted us to believe it was. We're now actually sitting in a good spot to resume a rally very, very soon. With that said, you can go off of my chart there, T-Shroom. We'll get back into some Q&A, take a look at some charts, but we have a lot of news stories that we want to cover as to why we're continuing to stand here on the Investing Bros channel as being bullish, as saying that a lot of the worst of these moves are behind us. Again, let's remove the fear. Let's remove the lies. Let's remove the fake news, and let's replace it with factual information about what has happened over the last couple of days. T-Shirt, what do you got for us?
Absolutely, Tim. Well, we're going to start off with probably the most bullish news. This is going to be the biggest AUM that could potentially flow into Bitcoin, and that's Morgan Stanley's 15,000 advisors to start pitching Bitcoin ETFs from tomorrow. Now, if you've ever used Morgan Stanley or you're a current user of it, you might be like, well, T-Shroom, you can buy the Bitcoin ETFs on there right now. Yes, you can. But the Morgan Stanley actual fiduciaries that sit down and work with you day to day on what your portfolio is going to be, they have not been able to actually recommend the Bitcoin ETFs until now. Right. And so that is expected to, turn into basically a feeding frenzy of Bitcoin. There's a possibility that this could be oversold, that this news could be kind of over exaggerated, but 15,000 advisors. And you'd have to imagine, how many clients that is per advisor, and then how much AUM that is per client. It's going to be a potentially very big bullish catalyst for Bitcoin. Tim, the last time that we saw this headline, and this is going to be going live tomorrow, just so everybody's tracking. The last time though that Morgan Stanley kind of came out and reminded the market, and the media kind of followed along, was back here at the previous lows when we were in the golden pocket last time, back here in mid-July, early to mid-July, right? That's one of the catalysts from the news world that brought us out of those lows and to put in highs all the way back up at 69. So this news actually going live is likely to be pretty bullish at a time where Bitcoin is likely finding where its bottom is behind it. But Tim, what do you think about this? Do you think that this headline's kind of washed out at this point? Do you think it's baked in? What are your thoughts here on Morgan Stanley's move?
Yeah, here's what I'll tell you is I think it's a great move. I won't put this as the most bullish story we're going to cover. The first thing is there's a lot of, despite the fact that we are, in my opinion, about to see a big rally, you got to remember the fear and greed index at the moment is sitting below 20 once again. We hit 17 last night, the lowest we have been since the bear market lows way back in November of 2022, right? So a multi-year low for the fear and greed index. I don't think you're going to see a bunch of new investors just flocking in to buy that dip. Traditionally, it's the whales that buy that dip. So here's what I think is going to happen. This news is not important to price action right at the second, but once the whales get priced back up to a comfortable level, this is just the unfortunate truth. These newer investors are not going to buy again until we're probably seeing new all-time highs, because that's going to be the best pitch. I'll tell you right now, if I'm a financial advisor sitting there for Morgan Stanley and I'm working with my clients saying, hey, do you want to buy Bitcoin ETF right now? Yeah, it's down 30% in the last month. Is that something you want to invest in right now? Unfortunately, where you and I, T-Shroom, have learned, down 30% in a month, buy when there's blood in the streets. Perfect example. Let's go. Most investors want to know they're buying something confident. Most investors hear about things like the stock market where a big move would be 10%. So you're telling me this asset's down 30% and you're thinking I should buy it? That sounds like a failing project to me. Once we're at new all-time highs, on the other hand, though, and I can tell everybody as a financial advisor, do you want to buy in Bitcoin? It just rallied 50% in the last couple of days. Oh, yeah, I want to buy something that's up 50%. That sounds like a great investment tool. That's not going to happen until the whales pump us to those new highs. So once that happens, this is going to be a major adoption story where millions of people, and not just from this investment firm, but others as well, get comfortable with putting their hard-earned money and retirement money and pension funds into this asset we call Bitcoin, which we know is digital gold. It's the future of wealth worldwide. It's just not going to happen just yet. The whales are not done with their buying spree.
Yeah, a little humor here from the Dusty Hunt said, "Is Bitcoin a good stock?" Might be a question that some of these financial advisors might get over at Morgan Stanley. I would also offer, we talk about the boat being pulled back. Market manipulators, the composite man might pull the boat back, meaning artificially bring the price of an asset down so that their friends can get in at a lower price. I think, the clients of Morgan Stanley may be the friends in this case. You make a good point, though, Tim, that oftentimes retail doesn't pull the trigger until the prices are reaching highs, which is the opposite of what you should do. You don't buy high, sell low. You buy low, sell high. So I think you make a good point. But we can keep moving on. I did see something in chat that I wanted to just bring to everybody's attention. Corey B said, I wouldn't be surprised if the Fed cuts rates during the August meeting. So just so you're tracking, there is no August meeting. There's no August meeting. The next meeting is in September 18th. 18th is when they'll release that decision. But they do have the Jackson Hole meeting on August 22nd through the 24th. I don't know what day the press conference is going to be on that.
I want to make sure people understand, because part of what could cause some people to think that was doable, the theme of this video today, as the thumbnail and the title suggest, they lied to us. They lied a lot. So I think there's still a lot of people under the impression that we might see an emergency meeting from the Fed. There were rumors out there. We reported on the show that there were rumors there was going to be an emergency Fed meeting, and that potentially at that emergency Fed meeting, they could decide to have an emergency rate cut. As some people calling for as high as even 75 basis points. Forget 25 or 50. They wanted 75 emergency ones. Why? Because they were freaking out thinking we're about to enter into a recession. Well, the data points aren't necessarily backing that up. Also, that was a rumor that the Fed did not start. Somebody else started. There's no emergency meeting from the Fed. The truth is, I think we're still sitting in place. I do think September sees a rate cut, but we're still cooling off. A lot of people still convinced we're going to see 50 basis points. I'm going to go on record right now and tell you guys, I'm not predicting 50 basis point cut in September. I think by the time we get there, they will want to warrant at least one. But that's going to be it. We're going to get 25 basis point cut in September. I'm predicting we see a cut in September, and then again in November, and then another one in December, while we're still pricing in, while we're expecting, based off CME futures, to see a total of 4 cuts, or, I guess a full 1% cut. I think by the end of the year, we're only going to see 75 basis points cut, 0.75%. That's my prediction right now. If things change, they could change. But while we're talking about this issue, I forgot that I wanted to bring this up, T-Shroom, but this is a great transition. Go to my screen here. A tweet from a very close friend of the channel, which we got to get him back on here soon. He's been busy. We've been busy, but Caleb's coming back on. But he put out a tweet today that is very important. The Atlanta Fed, hey, guess what? I live in Atlanta. They just received their quarter 3 2024 real GDP forecast. They revised it to plus 2.9% annualized versus the prior 2.5. So remember that scare that we're about to enter a recession? Well, it turns out they actually now are projecting our GDP is actually going to be a lot better than we previously thought it was going to be. Again, what's the theme of today's show? They lied to us. Why? Because they wanted to see things like this. They wanted to see people freak out, capitulate, so they could buy very cheap Bitcoin, Ondo, Ethereum, Solana once again. But when you take a look at the actual details, the facts are, again, we live in a world of reality and a world of data. The world of data says we're not in a bad place. The economy on paper still looks like it's getting better.
Yep, and the on paper part is important because the All In podcast, David Sachs on the All In podcast. Some of you may not know what I'm talking about. Check it out. It's actually one of the top podcasts right now on Spotify. But David Sachs makes the point a lot. So GDP is comprised of domestic purchases, government purchases, and then the net of imports and exports. So it's people buying stuff, businesses buying stuff, and then the government buying stuff, and then international purchasers buying stuff from us, less stuff that we buy from them. And taking a wild guess at who does the lion's share of that, of the purchasing that comprises GDP, is the government, which has infinite printing capabilities. So they can artificially create an environment where there is or isn't a recession by buying. And maybe if it's even like legitimate purchases of equipment and materials for bridges that they're going to build in 10 years, right? But they could do all the purchasing today so that it looks like GDP is high now. Or they could say, hey, let's wait till the very last minute to buy all this concrete and lumber and labor hours and whatever it is so that it looks like we're in a recession. Can you engineer a recession if you're sophisticated enough? Which it's arguable that maybe the current administration isn't sophisticated enough. But if you are, you could. And we'll see. I mean, we don't really know who's running the current administration, I suppose. But now we're getting off the tracks. Let's bring it back on the tracks with some more bullish news here, Tim, because it doesn't stop just at Morgan Stanley. It's also other whales, right? So long-term Bitcoin hodlers, meaning they've held Bitcoin for more than 155 days. That's a low standard. But they bought more yesterday than on any other day this year. This is as of today. So this is yesterday, literally yesterday. Tim, we say this almost every single stream, right?
Mm-hmm.
We talk about manipulation. We talk about the composite man. The long-term hodlers know nothing changed about Bitcoin. Nothing changed about Apple or Amazon, right? Except the price of the share or the price of the coin. Those things changed, but the underlying value that these projects and companies provide the world didn't change. And what happens when that takes place? Inexperienced investors sell, right? And they have a net economic loss because they've just thrown away their opportunity. And more experienced investors buy, just as this headline is portraying. This from Matthew Sagel, recovering CFA.
I'll admit that what you're saying is true. 155 days, in case anyone's wondering, 155 days ago was back in March. March, of course, we're talking about 155 days. You could have bought up here at $68,000 and constituted that one. So even though that wallet's going to include people that are alone longer than that, I agree with you, T-Shroom. That seems like a weird metric to call people long-term holders. That's not the case. What the point, though, is saying is that people who have been around the block, they've been invested for a while. They're not brand new and just trying to they're not trying to like double their money in like 3 days and then get out. They're in it for the long haul. They're buying. And that's a very positive sign. We know the whales in terms of the large holders. We talked about this yesterday. One's holding 1,000 to 10,000 accounts, 10,000 Bitcoin in their account, gobbled up record numbers in July, preparing for a big rally. Were they prepared for the news about the Asian market? No. That's why we're going to continue to say that was a borderline, very quick black swan event. But they were preparing for a move back down to 60,000. They were gobbling up the supply. It was the smaller whales that were selling off. That's okay. Small whales can sell off. When the large ones are buying, that's when you, the average retail investor, should be buying. Don't live in your class. Crypto and investing doesn't have to be classism. Technically speaking, if you own less than 100 Bitcoin, you are considered dumb money. Call me dumb. That's fine. I don't buy crypto like a dumb money person. I buy like a whale. I follow their patterns. But yeah, I'm in that dumb money category because I don't have 100 Bitcoin. That's fine with me. I'm going to make a lot of money compared to my, current assets in this bull market because I treat the whole market the same way those large whales do as well. Maurer saying brokies. Yeah, put a 1 in chat if you have more than 100 Bitcoin. We're going to find out who's a liar and who tells the truth in chat here. Love you guys, but we are historically known to have members of the community who lie about some of these things we ask them to tell the truth about. Mayor saying 0. Okay, we got one person honest. RDXRP saying 0 as well. So we have some truthful people here. There we go. Trent Brock. I feel so bad. We got to meet Trent in Nashville. So we love Trent. Anyway, let's keep going on though. Other news kind of playing out here bullishly, T-Shroom.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a decent amount of bullish news. I do want to run this here from Crux. 3 new gems added to the Gem Watchlist project. Quick dive released last night. Become a member today and get access to Discord content. Links in the description. Crux, thank you so much for writing that out to where it's just a clear promo. Very little brain cell work from me on that. Gotta love Crux. Let's give it up for Crux really quick. Crux does so much work in the background, in the Discord. If you have ever received value, if he has ever answered a question in the Discord, or here on the YouTube chat, drop a 1 in the chat to show Crux a little love. Or if you just want to show him a little love. Or if you just want to hit the 1 button.
Ones are fun.
Either of those cases, hit them. But yeah, 3 new gems. That's really awesome. Another chat here. King Ragnar, more than likely a troll, but I would be remiss if I missed out on this opportunity. He said, I want to give T-Shroom a Cybertruck. Please let me know how to contact him. Because of him, I made $8.4 million yesterday. In the event that this is not a troll, join our Discord. Join our Discord or DM me on Twitter. I will respond.
We might have found somebody. If for some reason that chat was true, we might have found a listener who actually has 100 Bitcoin.
That's true.
He just made 8.4. I wonder what. I mean, again, I think I agree with you. This might be a troll, but let's just pretend it was a real scenario. What advice did T-Shroom give that made someone gain $8.1 million?
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
That's the question. We're gonna have some fun here in chat. I might read some of the best ones. Drop in chat. Fake answers only. What advice would T-Shroom have given someone to profit them $8 million? I want to read some of your guys' funny responses. Let's keep moving forward though with the news.
Especially because I wasn't even on the stream yesterday. Must have been talking about a different day. Let's keep moving here. A man named Richard Tang. He is the CEO of a little exchange you may have heard of before. That is Binance. He said this amid a macroeconomic climate and yesterday's market downturn. Binance recorded a net inflow of 1.2 billion in the last 24 hours, according to DeFi Llama's SEX transparency metrics. This marks one of the highest net inflow days of 2024, indicating investor confidence. Yesterday also saw one of the highest trading volumes on Binance to date. We are now witnessing a rebound in major token prices, with current market trends validating this. This is from Binance, right? The highest volume in one day in 2024. That is, and it's not actually. Pardon me, not volume. This is net inflows. Very big difference. This is money coming on exchange and flowing into crypto. This is big, and it's net inflows $1.2 billion, right? It highlights the point that we've been saying again and again. The theme of the show is that the market lied to you yesterday. The market repriced these assets to the downside. The value didn't change. The price changed. Who bought it? Smart whales, right? And if you're sitting out there and you sold yesterday, right, or you've only been accumulating meme coins, then you're probably a sad tiger today. You've got some tiger tears flowing down your face. Just keep moving forward. Stay positive. Tim, what do you think about this crazy story here from Richard Tang? 1.2 billion in inflows, highest of 2024.
Yeah, it's the flow of it. It's, at least if I read it correctly, it wasn't inflowing like Bitcoin coming back on exchange or Ethereum coming back on exchange. It made it sound like it was money, fiat money. So whether you're purchasing with US dollars or you're purchasing with the Chinese yuan, it sounds like people are flooding the exchange with money. And that traditionally means people are getting ready to make a purchase. I don't know about you guys, but there's some people that will reach out to you. More often than not, it's when we hit highs that people reach out and say, how do I get a hold of Bitcoin? How do I buy Ethereum? How do I buy Solana? But my brother reached out to me the other day. He's smart enough. He's been around the block. He's not heavily invested in crypto, but he knows he should be. So he saw the dip and texted me saying, hey, man, you think it's a good time to go ahead and go all in on crypto? I said, abso-freaking-lutely. He just said he went to go put stuff onto Coinbase, and it was taking a long time to load. I guess Coinbase, it wasn't down. It wasn't like telling you couldn't put money on exchange, but it definitely was saying it was going to take a long time. I wonder how many other people were rushing to do the same thing as well, because they do understand this is the opportunity of a lifetime. This is going to be very, very good. This is a very bullish story. Speaking of Binance and bullish stories, guess who's free out of prison? Former CEO CZ. Look for a lot more coming from him later on. While he probably will not resume any position at Binance, he is a key player that is going to make some comments on the markets that will have major impact, both positive and negative. I don't think he's going to necessarily manipulate the price. He's more of a force for good, but look for that to be another storyline we talk about in the future with CZ out of prison and talking about crypto once again. There he is, the good-looking man from China.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know in the chat. What do you think about CZ? Some people hate him. Even crypto-friendly folks.
I don't know why. I like him.
We have some admiration for the man. He's a good guy. Speaking of crypto celebrities, it doesn't stop with CZ. Justin Sun's 3.5 million Ethereum move stuns crypto community is the headline running on You Today. There he is, Justin Sun, Tron founder. Not everybody's favorite guy, but he's got a lot of money and he throws it around every once in a while. Here's some details. As per Spot, on-chain Sun withdrew 14,884 ETH from crypto exchange Binance earlier today. Now, you might be like, wait, he withdrew it. What does that mean? Well, that's actually a bullish thing. If you're new to crypto, you're new to investing in general, taking coins off the exchange means that the investor's intent is to not sell for the short future, right, or the midterm. Now, they may be buying with the anticipation to eventually sell, but if you take it off exchange, it's harder to sell. You can't sell it from a cold wallet, right? So that's the alpha there. This transaction is estimated to be worth around 35.97 million as per the current ETH price. The bullishness doesn't stop there. Spot on chain also revealed that Sun has deposited a net amount of 49 million USDT to the HTX exchange in the past 3 days. This move is likely indicating more ETH purchases from the Tron founder. So taking ETH off exchange and moving cash on exchange, it doesn't get much more bullish than this. Tim, do you think Justin is trying to manipulate the market to the upside here, or do you think he's really just placing his bets?
Yeah, here's what I'll say about Justin Sun. He's neither a force for good nor bad in crypto, but he is known to conveniently buy the bottoms and sell the tops pretty well. Tron coin, of course, is one of his creations, known for being one of the higher liquidator projects that helps determine when things go really up or really down. So here's what I'll say. This is very bullish. If he just not only if he not only moved a lot of Ethereum off exchange, which is preparation that he's going to hold it for a long time, but he's now moving money on in anticipation. Some people speculating he's going to buy more Ethereum. I think he's going to spread it out. I think he's going to buy some Bitcoin. I think he's going to buy some Ethereum. I think he's going to look for other opportunities that look very good. I'm very interested to see the on-chain data of what he decides to purchase. Here's what I'll say. This is a whale that we absolutely should be paying attention to. When he buys, buy what he bought. When he sells, sell what he sold, because he doesn't get things wrong. In fact, I'm trying to think of a time that I've ever heard of an article coming out that Justin Sun sold and the markets didn't dip pretty severely, or bought and the markets didn't rally pretty severely. So that's another major bullish sign. If he's making bullish moves, it's not something to ignore. Like I said, though, pay attention to him, because he also at times can help manipulate the market to the downside as well. He's not in it to, I don't think that Justin Sun is like a champion of decentralization and power to the people. He's a champion of money in his pocket. And it's one of those things, there's an expression, wasn't it Pirates of the Caribbean, where didn't Jack Sparrow say, you can always trust a liar to lie. It's the truthful people you have to watch out for. You can always trust Justin Sun to do what's best for his own interest. So therefore, just do what he does and you'll be all right.
Absolutely. It's always good to identify constants in the universe, in reality, regardless of whether or not they're lying or telling the truth or buying or selling. Right. If they're constant, you can rely on it most of the time. Well, Tim, that actually is going to conclude our news. I mean, I don't think we had a single story that was bearish. Gary Gensler staying out of the news. It's just price that seems to be bearish. But what is the old maxim? I feel like I've been saying this almost every stream, is you buy low, you sell high. What have we seen the prices been doing recently? They've been low. And did anything change about Bitcoin? Was it hacked? Was there a wallet cracked? Did Satoshi come out from behind the curtain and say it's all a joke? No, nothing changed, right? Except the price. Except for weak hands doing what they do best, selling.
Yeah, there we go. A lot of people, I'm not going to say it out because I don't even know what YouTube's rules are. A lot of people are suspecting, T-Shroom, that you have an OF account. Is there something you wanted to tell me? Yeah, I'm not going to go into that one. Good. T-Shroom, I'm proud of you that you don't know what that means right off the tip of the tongue. What advice do you give? Some people saying you gave advice to get married. Hey, here's the thing. I love marriage. I don't, unless you're marrying a woman with $8.1 million, I don't know if marriage is the best way to gain money. In fact, it's probably a good way to lose money. But that being said, I think it's worth it because we are big believers in the institution of marriage, both T-Shroom and myself. I don't know. There's a couple other ones. People talking about, do you give people advice to sell their islands? I don't know. Have you been talking to people about their islands?
Where are you reading these comments? I don't see these comments.
Scroll up. There's a lot of comments about, I told people to post in chat what advice you gave somebody, and I a lot of good stuff here. Either way, let's start dropping some questions, Q&A. If you want to keep answering what T-Shroom gave advice that would have profited someone $8.1 million, keep dropping those. We'll read some of those ones. Drop some questions. We're going to have Q&A. But first, T-Shroom, you've been out for the last couple of days, and your little buddy, the elf, he would obviously had to take those times off as well.
That's right.
Is he back? Did he create a factoid of the day for today?
The Factoid elf is back, Tim.
There we go.
He's back, and he's brought to you all by the world's best trading indicator, Lux Algo. Tim,
come on.
What is the name of Tesla's humanoid robot? Is it A, Optimus, B, Bot 1, C, Talos, or is it D, Unemployment Bot? What is the answer?
I have no idea. Talos? I don't know. I have no earthly idea whatsoever. So I'm just going with C, Talos.
You're going with C?
That could be very wrong. Other people are saying Optimus, so that makes me think Optimus. But there's a lot of A's. Someone says say D though. Let's go A. I mean, a lot of people saying A. I'm gonna go with the voice of the people. It seems to be the popular answer.
Let's
Hey,
go.
they were right. They were right.
I actually love it when you get it right. The company has been developing a humanoid robot called Optimus since 2022. It would have been cool to have like a video of that Optimus bot, because I think that they've been making some strides with that bot being able to like fold laundry and stuff, which sounds menial. Even like an 11-year-old can do that, but getting a robot to do it, that you have to pay $0 per hour. There's no minimum wage for a robot. That's why there was an answer there.
You could do what my wife and I did, have an organic robot. Brody, new trick he's learning. Now, he's not great at folding, I will say. Maybe a robot could be better at folding. But he has found an infatuation with two things that are very near and dear to his mother's heart. She loves it. He loves putting laundry away. Now, does it get into the right drawer? Rarely. Does it end up just being a bunched up mess? Absolutely. But he really loves putting laundry away. One of his favorite things to do. He loves vacuuming. In fact, he probably at this point is up to like 20 words. But one of his first couple words after mama and dada was vacuum. The boy loves vacuums.
Yeah, that's right.
He loves to vacuum things, and it's his life joy. Laundry and vacuuming. So you could have a robot, or you could have a Brody. And Brodies are a lot more loving and cute than robots, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I think that you're onto something there, Tim. And it's let's see, it's not missing. B-ball golf said, my son loves to empty the dishwasher. That was actually one of the things I liked to do when I lived at home with my parents. That was my chore, was to empty the dishwasher. And Tim, I was top in my class in economics, and I actually was one of the best I was the top dishwasher in my house as well.
Hey, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. Redline saying, can't believe you haven't heard about Optimus. You really aren't in stocks at all, huh, Tim?
Yeah, I was thinking.
I'm not invested in stocks, but no, I don't spend a lot of time researching what Tesla is doing. So yeah, you caught me. You caught me there. I'm spending a lot more time researching crypto. Dave Digital, Taylor been acting like vacuuming is so fun to trick Brody. I don't know if she's acting like, she just vacuums. She does vacuum quite frequently. Taylor is a little bit of a clean freak, I would say, which is not necessarily the worst trait in the world to have. There's Optimus right there. But yeah, Brody he loves it. He loves big vacuums, little vacuums. We have this little, what's the robot that vacuums up? It's
Roomba.
We have a Roomba that when he was littler, he tried to ride the Roomba. Now he just loves to he goes and puts his foot down and makes it bounce. But yeah, the boy loves vacuuming. That is for sure. What else we have here? NCR Legend. Tim, soon I'll be selling your crypto to buy a roll box for your kid. Robot, I guess, for my kid. No, I'm going to teach him crypto's better than a roll box. What's up, bros? What movies y'all excited about? That's a good question. What movies? I'll tell you what, I'm really excited about football season coming up. I watch movies. I like TV shows, but fall and American football, specifically college football, it's my favorite time of the year. It's my favorite time of the year for sure.
A lot of people think that you and I are just on the phone all day talking to each other and doing our nails, but we're not. We're laser focused on different things. There has been a bit of a silo. Is there a fantasy league going on in the Discord or not?
Can
I get access to that?
Yeah, well, I think that you're in. I think we are looking for one more spot in Discord. We have 11 people signed up to play fantasy football in our Discord. You got to come on. We need one more person. Go sign. If you like fantasy football, you want to play, go join our free Discord. There's comments in the general chat. We'll retag it, but yeah, tell people that you want to play fantasy football. We have at least one slot left. Drew P. Tim, pullback tomorrow. Price is up pretty fast today. Yeah, that's kind of what I got to, Drew P, is that I think that we're rallying, but I will not be surprised to see a small cool off. It rarely when everyone turns back to being bullish. And I think we're back to that point where everyone that stayed around is cautiously optimistic. Don't be surprised to see a little bit of shakeout, a little bit of fake out, another pullback, even back down towards 52,000 potentially. But I'll tell you this, I will not be surprised if the weekly candle is either, go to my screen here real quickly. Let's take a look at the weekly on Bitcoin. At the moment, that's a long wick compared to a very small body. We opened the week at 58,000. I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if this ends up becoming a white candle. Now, it could end up staying here for the rest of the week, kind of staying in this range, maybe even coming back down and closing towards 52. That's definitely possible. Let's talk about the next one. Whether this candle ends up finishing white or not, I wouldn't be surprised if the next candle ends up being white as we start to make a move back to the upside. I told you guys earlier, I thought even though there's going to be a small pullback, again, towards 60,000, not all the way back towards 50, 49, I thought that August would end up becoming a white month or a bullish month. Right now, it's very much not, but we're only 6 days in. All we need to do is close August back above 64,700, and this will be a bullish month. We got a long time, and I think there's still a possibility that this month of August ends up being a white candle with a massive wick down below it, as it was a major bottom indicator, but then we make a move to the upside. We're gonna have to wait on that one. But there's a lot of reasons, a lot of reasons why we should be moving to the upside. KV saying, no, Tim, everything go up from here for the next 2 to 3 months. Too much week off sale. Yeah, listen, I agree, KV. I think everything does go up for the next couple of months. I just wouldn't be surprised to see a shakeout. I mean, that's the only thing. Again, I can't promise you perfection on anything, but I can promise you one thing in crypto, and that is that markets are volatile. They go up, they go down, they try to shake you out. That's why the best strategy is holding and DCAing long-term. Time in the market is just a much better plan than trying to time the market. That being said, with a small portfolio, trying to trade the swings is a good strategy as well. That's what we teach in our VIP trading group. That's what we teach in our membership. So if you want to learn more about that to add to a healthy DCA strategy, absolutely go ahead and do that. Also, by the way, we talked about earlier, there's some gems that Crux dropped to our members. That's an enticing reason to join our membership. Another good reason, though, I just updated my portfolio. I actually consolidated. I moved some things around last night. I sold some of my lower projects or ones that I just am not necessarily excited about. I decided, you know what, 30, it's just too much. I'm down to 18 coins. Guess what? You're only going to find that out if you go and join our Pro Bros memberships. I'm not going to be making that public. That is something I'm going to save for our members. So make sure you go join that membership as well. If you want to know what I hold and what my portfolio looks like, I did just update it. It is there for the members. Guess what? Also, one of the benefits of being a Pro Bro, you once every quarter, so once every 3 months, get access to a one-on-one with myself, T-Shroom, or Crux to go over what your portfolio looks like. We're not here to give you financial advice, but we do want to coach you and help you think about how you should be putting your portfolio together. We'll kind of help you think about what's good, what's bad, and you can make sure you're making a lot of money in the next little bit. You know, someone reached out to me today on X, T-Shroom. They asked me, they said, I got $100,000 put into the markets right now, into crypto. Do you think I can turn that into $1 million? And the quick answer to that is yes, but it really does depend on what goes into that 100,000. If your Bitcoin is sitting at 70 or 80 or 50% of that 100,000, sorry, no. $100,000 portfolio with 50%, 75% Bitcoin, not making it to $1 million. I don't think you should sell all your Bitcoin, but I do think that it should be a little lesser. These are the types of conversations we have to really help coach you on what a good-looking portfolio should look like based off your wealth, your goals, everything else. Make sure you join our membership today if you want to get access to that kind of coaching. T-Shirt, we got a couple minutes left here. Let's continue on and chat. Anything you wanted to add to that conversation right there?
No, just definitely keep up your DCA. Does flipping $100,000 into $1 million sound good to you? Well, especially if you're new to investing, new to crypto, don't just believe everything you hear on the internet, right? It still takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of knowledge. People think that they can get rich quick in a lot of different ways. Guys, crypto, can you theoretically get rich quick? Yes, you absolutely can get rich quick. You can also get rich quick in the pharmaceutical industry, right? Buying and trading pharmaceutical stocks. They have a similar amount of volatility, right? You can get rich quick in a lot of different places, but very, very few people do. Less than 1% of, especially, and it's probably less than 0.001% of noobs actually make significant generational wealth just coming in and just indiscriminately buying. Now in the bull market, that might, once we get into the new year, there might be some opportunities where if you just bought and sold, you might actually do quite well indiscriminately. But what you want to do overall is just buy low and sell high. Yeah. And a good DCA strategy is the surefire way of doing that, especially in Bitcoin.
I will say Drew P said 2x Bitcoin leverage is one of the ways. I'll say this. I use leverage trading, but never with a significant portion of my portfolio. I would not, let's say you had $100,000. I would not recommend, if that was your entire crypto portfolio, putting $100,000 into a 2x trade on Bitcoin, even though I don't think we're going to be falling 50% from here. I don't think Bitcoin's even going to fall 50% from the highs. That being said, you go from having a situation where right now, if you buy Bitcoin on spot, the only way you'll lose everything is if Bitcoin goes to zero. That's not going to happen. If you put it on 2x, if it drops 50%, we were to drop down to, I guess at the moment that would be like $28,000. Again, do I think it's going to happen? No. But in theory, if you put $100,000 on 2x for Bitcoin and we drop below $28,000, you will lose all of your Bitcoin. That's it. Money gone. If you had $1 million invested, or like 1.5 million, and you want to put 100,000 into leverage, all right, we're talking about less than 10% of your portfolio, around 10%. I think that's still high for put on leverage for long term. But you know what? Float your boat. That's something that you potentially could do. But I would heavily advise against people taking the majority of their crypto portfolio and putting it on any type of leverage. That is not a recipe for success. You're playing with fire. Spot trading is the way to go. Yep. Spot holding is the way to go for those big bags. Yep. We have some chat here, T-Shroom. Someone asked, so username said, Tim, have you made Virginia Tech win a natty in NCAA 2025 playing on rookie yet? I did. I got the game. I got 2025. It's very enjoyable. I really love it. Not too much of a gamer, though, so I can only play for so long, but I have played a season, and Virginia Tech has won the national championship. So thank you for that. I'm very proud of my boys. Do you think, Reza said, do you think the CME gap will get filled? I talked about this earlier. So, yes, I do think it is, but we went from this. So this was the CME gap a couple of weeks ago, right? So this was the actual gap. Everyone was asking, will we drop down here towards $58,000 and fill this gap? Look what we did. We didn't fill the gap. We recreated it, only made it a little higher. Now we have a gap at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, where we're moving to the upside, and it should be about $63,000 before we fill that gap. So the question, are we going to fill the gap? Yes, I do believe that we will. It's just a matter of when, but we're going to be moving up and to the right, and we will fill this gap once again. Let's see what happens next weekend. Do we form another one? Do we move massively over the weekend, or we kind of stay boring and sideways and do everything the way we actually should be doing it? Good question there. I do think we will. Drew P said, amen, Tim. I don't know which one you're saying amen to, but I'll take it. Gosh, Drew P. Love you being in here. Not going to read that last comment. What else do we have here? Not invest. DCAT token said, not invest what you can afford to lose so you don't yourself. A lot going on there, but I think I know what you're trying to say, and absolutely that is the case. Do not invest a single penny. We say this all the time. Don't invest a single penny that you cannot lose, you cannot afford to lose, so that you don't get too scared. The goal of investing, everybody, is passive income that you can sleep at night. When you mortgage your house or you refuse to pay a bill and go into debt so you can buy more crypto, that's the kind of investing that makes you stay awake at night and not sleep. Don't do that. Whatever amount you can put into the market right now and go to sleep tonight saying, if it goes to zero, I'm going to be okay. That's what you should have invested. If any of you are looking at your investments at the moment and you're biting your nails and you're freaking out and pulling your hair out because you're really upset about how far down your portfolio is. Again, if you have a heavy altcoin portfolio, your portfolio dropped by 50% this past week. If that made you sick to your stomach, if that made you consider giving up on investing as a whole, odds are you had too much invested. But the majority of us, I mean, T-Shrew and I talked about this. My portfolio, because I still have a good amount of Bitcoin and Ethereum, it wasn't down 50%, but it was down. It was down pretty significantly. Guess what? Instead of freaking out, I just said, oh, look at that. Time to add more. Time to buy more of the dip. That's what you should have the feelings of. You should always have a good feeling about the market. You should always be confident, even if price is down. You got to see the end game, the long term, and know how to ride out the volatility. It's one of those things now. I've been invested in crypto for well over 4 years now. I've seen the cycles. I've seen the emotional roller coasters. Some of you have not, and that's okay. You'll learn. You're earning your stripes at the moment. This is what happens this time of the market. This is what happens. There's this ultra gut feeling that is used to try to get rid of all of the newer investors as best they can. We just rode through it. Is it completely over? I'm not 100% certain. I think so. But this is the type of things that happen right before the real explosion starts. Do not FUD out. Don't be in that camp where you invested way too much and now you can't sleep at night and you're considering capitulating. If that's your case, take out as much as you need to pay bills, to feel confident. Maybe you're not going to be a millionaire this cycle. You don't become a millionaire in crypto if you don't have a little bit of guts to ride out the volatility. But if you do have the guts, or you're willing to have those guts, you're going to make a lot of money. You're going to make a lot of money. If you stick with our channel and you pay attention to markets, you're going to do all right.
Yeah. I love what Senzo's saying here. I moved last week, and that was very expensive, so it was a little frustrating. I didn't have my full powder to deploy. I can relate. I got married last year. I'm sorry, I got married in June. And man, talk about depleting your dry powder. But it was worth it, obviously. I would make the argument it's worth it.
Here's what I'll say about that T-Shroom, though. I want to make sure people understand this. There's a great opportunity in the next 12 to 14 months to make a lot of money. I want to make sure people understand that. I'm not trying to discourage that. But if you're watching right now and your thought is, man, I'm going to invest right now, I'm going to get out in 2025, and I'm going to be set for life. Can I let you guys know a little secret? Even if you made $1 million by next year, if that's your end goal is to use this cycle and that's it with your investing journey, you're going to make problems again. Guys, part of this journey is not just how to make a lot of money. It's how to handle a lot of money. Mm-hmm. That's the goal of the Investing Bros channel. Yeah, we're going to help you make money in the next 12 months. That is the ultimate plan, how to invest in the right places. But it goes deeper than that. We want to teach you how to handle money correctly. And part of handling money correctly is a long-term, lifelong process of knowing how to invest and how to trade to continue to make things bigger and better. Maybe you start off this bull market with 100,000 and turn it into 1 million by next cycle. Well, let's find a way to make that 1 million into 10 million. And let's find a way to make that 10 million into 100 million. I'm a big believer that if you have the opportunity and ability to make a lot of money, you absolutely should take advantage of it. Not for selfish reasons, although you should be able to enjoy your wealth as you build it. But this world needs people who have good hearts, good morals, who want to see the world become a better place. I absolutely am a believer that I want to become wealthy to provide for my family, to provide for my friends and family, my future loved ones, and also provide for the rest of the world and find ways to change the world for better. That happens with a lifelong journey of investing tools. If you miss out on some gains this year because you got married or you moved, that's okay, because we're going to teach you how to make money in 2026 and 2027 and 2047 and 2067. If you're only in it to make money in 2025, you're probably going to end up spending that money very, very quickly, and you'll be back down to zero. Stick with us here. Hit likes on the videos, join our Discord, join our memberships, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our content, and come along this journey with us as we don't just make money, we handle money correctly and change generational wealth forever in our family and your family. If that's something you love, you found the right channel. Smash the like, hit subscribe. It is 4:02. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up for today. Enjoyed being here with you guys. Enjoyed having T-Shroom back with the orange background. Maybe tomorrow he's back at home, though. We'll have to wait and see. But with that said, love you guys. See you tomorrow. Adios.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shouted out loud on the PA. T-Shroom's news got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Investing bros. Investing bros. Investing bros. Investing bros.